white revolution, any other revolutionary, we don't even have to tell people that. We don't want to tell no one.
This video is called Attraction. I see a lot of people who are stupid and a lot of people who play stupid. Now, your attraction to a woman as a man, for instance, a heterosexual man, is related to their looks. Okay? And I'll tell you why. Your natural attraction. Now, some people, they kind of are brain dead. They're kind of out of touch, or they're disingenuous. They say, well, I never judge a woman by her looks. Let's look at this thing, shall we? Naturally, people are attracted to healthy people from the opposite sex if your genetics are in order. And I'll tell you why. Because when you reproduce with someone who's healthy, it's kind of like when you look at fruit, right, in nature. You could say, well, all fruit is created equal. And a lot of people are stupid. They don't see why I'm connecting this, why I'm using this as an example. Say, well, that fruit is rotten. Naturally, an animal will differentiate between that. If it is an animal with higher intellect. And it's the same thing when it comes to reproduction. Okay? When somebody is healthy, their body is shaped a certain way. And that is absolutely connected to this thing. Why do we think a woman is hot when she has a nice body and she's worked out and she's healthy and, she maintains herself and so on? Why is that sexy to us? Did we learn that from the media? Yeah, there's a degree of that. But do you really think that if we never learned that from the media, that we wouldn't see it that way? Now I'm going to give you an example. The best argument they could possibly make goes like this. There was a time in European history when larger women were seen as attractive. That they were seen as healthy because people were starving. Now this is a very interesting argument because there is some truth in that. It has to do with trends that man made. The problem is that this is not a natural conclusion that man came to. This is something that was impressed upon people and had to do with the culture of that society at the time. Another reason why they're wrong is because some men prefer thick women. Now, if we were all so brainwashed and so heavily influenced by the media, and the environmental factors were completely related to the media, it had nothing to do with seeing perky breasts, and healthy body. It had nothing to do with that, and it was completely impressed upon us by the media. Well, how come there's guys who like thicker women? Let's look at older women, for example. There are similarities between an overweight woman's breasts, typically, and an older woman, right? They're saggy. They're kind of unattractive and saggy. This is not something the media has shown us. It's fucking common sense. So we are naturally attracted to these things. Show me an example of how nature is shallow. You can't really. Because spirituality and depth, right? What is depth, It's related to being spiritual and natural. Because even if somebody's very intelligent, it doesn't mean that they're not shallow. I mean, there's countless examples of educated women who are shallow, materialistic, and brain dead. Just go to any college in America, you'll see tons of them. Brain dead when it comes to, these kind of very logical issues. They're kind of blinded by greed. So, that's what I mean by that. So, yeah, it goes like this. Don't settle. Go for what you want. If you want a thicker woman, I'm not going to talk you out of it. Have fun, But don't try to tell somebody something. So, what I hate, one of my pet peeves is someone saying, don't judge someone by their looks. You think that person would ever say that to somebody who likes thick women? I'm thinking about the double standard here. Do you really think they would say, hey, you like thick women, right? And that's shallow because you are attracted to her because of her looks. I've never heard that in my entire life. And I know many guys, some I've known for years, that are attracted to thick women, and not once has anyone ever told them in my presence that that is shallow. I mean, don't you see what they're fucking doing here? It is so obvious. There's no excuse. It's materialistic Western bullshit. And furthermore, this obesity. Let's just look at black culture for a moment, shall we? This obesity is something that really became a major problem when Africans came to America, right? There was a lot less, after slavery ended, etc. There was a lot less of, walking around, fetching water, helping their husbands in the field, and the things that women did. There's a lot of different, there's a lot of cultures in Africa, so it would take forever to even touch on this, to a certain degree. But they had a lot more physical activity. They ate a lot healthier, okay? So Africans for years and years and years, so don't fucking tell me to settle. When obesity and gluttony is a sin in the Bible, and liking thick women is very un-African. I can only think of a few examples in Africa where thicker women were celebrated. And it wasn't all, it was just one of many. For example, in Egypt, right? I believe it was Bess, right? This is just one of many types of women. And it wasn't like every guy preferred that. That's why people went to different temples. They preferred different temples. Those guys who like thicker women, they probably went to that temple. Or disproportionately went to that temple. Because it went back to natural attraction. Don't tell me what to look for in a woman. That's none of your fucking business. None of it. The fuck's wrong with you? Utterly disgraceful. Utterly disgraceful. If I wanted a fucking heifer, I would have worked toward being a farmer. Having a fucking ranch. I'd buy a bunch of cows. And don't tell me that the media impressed this idea upon me. Do you really think a warrior wants some fat fucking heifer? Do you really think that? Magically, it would escape an African warrior that women in shape are more appealing than fat, lazy fucking sluts. Magically. Warrior be like, he wouldn't happen to notice that he's in shape. Wow, I just noticed for the first time that I have muscles. That I'm in shape. Yeah, wow, I wonder how that happened. When he's having sex with some fat heifer, right? For the sake of argument, let's say he did. He wouldn't notice that some women are in shape and some are. That would escape him. I mean, on so many levels, their argument is insane. They say, don't consider this. Because corporate America teams up with feminists. And they say, don't consider this. Don't consider mind, body, and soul. Look, I tell you, I have no problem with any guy who likes thick women. I'm not going to stoop to the level of teaming up with corporate America or some desperate fat heifers to fucking tell them who they should and shouldn't date. No problem with that. I have never told any fucking buddy that they are shallow for being attracted to whatever they are attracted to. Some guy says, I like blondes. I don't say, oh my God, that's shallow. That's fucking stupid. It's like saying, well, I like fucking, grape juice. Wow, that's shallow. All nature is nature. It's, if it's edible, it's good for you. Don't be shallow. It's fucking retarded, right? It's that person's preference. It's his taste. It's his choice. And ironically, people French kiss, right? They taste, right? It's his taste. It's his choice. That's like saying, I like women when they're fresh out the shower. Well, that's shallow. You should like them for their character, not whether or not they've taken a shower. That's fucking stupid, right? But when you follow their train of thought to its finish, it doesn't add up. It takes you to a place of stupidity where the rich people aren't judged for having fucking attractive trophy wives, but you are judged if you make the argument that you deserve a pretty woman because you're a handsome, less than rich man who likes pretty women. I mean, follow the train of thought to its finish, and you end up in Bullshitville. Smack dab in the center of Bullshitville. But when you follow my train of thought to its finish, you get nature, spirituality, and truth. The fuck are they talking about? Trying to tell me that I'm shallow while they're a bunch of conformist cowards teaming up with corporate America. Saying, oh, you're shallow for liking attractive women. And notice where they draw the line, right? If a woman looked like fucking Two-Face from Batman, would they still make that same argument? No, because they are sticking up for a certain demographic of women, overweight women. Because we live in a country where a lot of women are overweight. So you have these communists that have teamed up with the most capitalist of capitalists on this issue. In case you haven't figured it out, there are a ton of overweight men. Tons of them. It's not like these bitches are fucking, left out in the cold or something. My goodness. Aren't you going to tell the top martial artist that he's shallow if he wants a female with a bare minimum amount of, sexiness? It's not like I want fucking, a female who wins some kind of, who the marathon winner or something, I don't give a fuck about that shit. I just want someone I'm attracted to. And this country, this state, this city couldn't get that for me.